Welcome to Short Times, where we provide you with the most exciting and engaging movie recaps in just a few minutes. Today, we're diving into the thrilling world of Enola Holmes. The movie Enola Holmes starts off with the main character, Enola, being chased by the police. As she makes her escape into an alleyway, she turns to the audience and begins to tell the story of how she ended up in this predicament. Since her last adventure, Enola has established her own detective agency, but has yet to step out of her famous brother Sherlock's shadow. Her mother, Eudoria, remains on the run, and Enola mentions that Tewkesbury, a love interest of hers, continues to fight for reform in England, though she doesn't have time for distractions. Enola is visited by a young girl, Bessie, who pleads for her help in finding her missing foster sister, Sarah Chapman. Bessie brings Enola to her home, which is located near a match factory, where orphan girls are forced to work under poor conditions. There, Enola meets May, a more cynical older girl who is unhappy with Bessie for going to Enola for help instead of her. As Enola investigates, she finds a note with the date 12 March written on it, and Bessie informs her that Sarah had a recent argument with the factory's foreman, Mr. Crouch, who accuses her of stealing something from his office. With this information, Enola sets out to uncover the truth behind Sarah's disappearance. Enola decides to sneak into the match factory and poses as a new worker to investigate. She creates a distraction to sneak into Crouch's office, where she overhears a meeting between the factory's owners, the Lyon family, a treasury minister, and his secretary. She discovers a book with pages torn out, and finds old matches with red tips, different from the white tips used by the girls working at the factory. At night, Enola follows May to the Paragon Theater, where she learns that May works as a stage performer. When Enola investigates in the dressing room, May confronts her with a knife, but doesn't reveal anything about Sarah's activities. However, Enola manages to bribe the stage manager into talking, who reveals that Sarah was involved with a mysterious man. The manager gives Enola a poem that Sarah received. Enola is then followed by a man with a cane, but she escapes and runs into her brother Sherlock, who is too drunk to stand on his own and needs her help to get home. After bringing Sherlock back home, Enola sees a board in his office and finds he's stuck on a case. The next morning, Sherlock deduces that Enola was working in the match factory because of the residue under her fingernails, and becomes concerned for her safety. Enola leaves and later meets Tewkesbury in the park, where their feelings for each other are still evident. Enola then revisits the poem and finds that it contains a coded message that leads to a location in Whitechapel. Enola finally reaches the address mentioned in the poem and finds evidence of a struggle. There, she discovers May dying from a stab wound. Despite her efforts to save her, May eventually succumbs to her injuries. On May's person, Enola finds sheet music titled "The Truth of the Gods." She is then discovered by Inspector Lestrade, who arrives with Superintendent Grail, who had been following Enola the night before. Grail accuses Enola of killing May and continues to question her, but Enola manages to escape after kicking him in the groin. Enola then hides at Sherlock's place just after Lestrade had paid him a visit. Enola questions Sherlock about his current case, which he admits involves bribery and blackmail among government officials, but he cannot deduce the source of these crimes. When Enola presents her findings to Sherlock, he decides to also solve the Sarah case, and urges her not to let her personal feelings get involved. While both siblings investigate the case, Sherlock examines the crime scene where May was murdered, and Enola finds clues based on the names of flowers. Poppy was mentioned in the poem, and finds the name Sweet William. Enola finds out a ball is taking place where she may find Sarah's lover and goes undercover. When she tries to speak to the Lyon family, she is turned away for speaking without a chaperone. Enola then meets Mira, who is kind to her and gives her a fan to impress the other guests. Enola enlists Tewkesbury's help in learning to dance. Upon further inspection, she finds that Sweet William refers to none other than William Lyon. Enola dances with him to try and gather more information on Sarah, but William tells her people are watching them. At the same time, Tewkesbury dances with another girl Enola met named Cicely. Meanwhile, Sherlock deduces that his clues have led him to decipher a message, Good to meet you, Sherlock Holmes," as well as finding a name from the account numbers he gathered, Moriarty. Enola is arrested during the ball, in front of everyone, and brought in for questioning by Grail. He tells her not to get involved any further in Sarah's case, leading Enola to realize he is working for someone bigger. Sherlock goes to bail her out, but Grail attempts to hold her on his supposed evidence. Sherlock counters with his own findings from the crime scene, suggesting that one of the guards at the station might have been involved in May's murder and Grail's own involvement. Sherlock has no choice but to go to Eudoria and Edith for help, as Enola is being escorted to a women's prison. The trio stages a breakout and takes Enola with them. On the ride out, they use smoke bombs to get the pursuing guards off their tails. Enola talks to Eudoria about the case, and learns that the match girls at the factory were dying from what is allegedly typhus. Grail pursues them and causes the carriage to crash. He attempts to have all three arrested, but they fight off the guards and escape again. Enola tearfully parts ways with Eudoria again, so she can complete her mission. Enola returns to Bessie and finds nearby flower pots containing traces of red and white matchstick tips. She figures that the white tips contain phosphorus, which is the actual cause of death for the girls at the factory. Enola goes to Tewkesbury for help, but has to hide when Cicely shows up, as she was already working with Tewkesbury on the case. Enola slowly realizes that Cicely is really Sarah, and that William was her secret lover. Before they head out to continue solving the case, Enola and Tewkesbury admit their love for one another. Enola, determined to bring justice for the match girls and those who were killed, returns to the factory with Sarah and Bessie. With the help of the other girls, they organize a revolt against Crouch and the other employers, demanding better working conditions and fair treatment. The strike is successful, and the match factory is shut down. Eudoria and Edith watch from afar, proud of Enola's actions. Sherlock visits Enola and presents her with a newspaper that reports that Tewkesbury has gathered enough evidence to have McIntyre arrested. While Sherlock offers her a partnership, Enola declines but agrees to meet with him every Thursday at 4. As she leaves, Sherlock is met by Edith, who gives him a newspaper that shows that Moriarty has escaped custody and is on the loose. Enola then goes out on a date with Tewkesbury. During the credits, we see a man, Hamish Patel, answering an ad for a flatmate at Sherlock's home, which Enola had placed. Despite some hesitation, Sherlock invites the man in. When asked his name, the man replies Dr. John Watson. This hints at the possibility of a future collaboration between Sherlock and Watson, as they are known to be famous partners in detective work in Arthur Conan Doyle's stories. That's it for our short but sweet recap of Enola Holmes. We hope you enjoyed following Enola's journey as she charted her own path in the world of detective work. If you haven't seen the movie yet, make sure to check it out and let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more movie recaps and reviews. Thanks for watching.